welcome back to my channel. My name is Pi, for those that don't know. And today I will be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 6, Episode 4. Before I get started, I would just like to remind you to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and comment down below. So the episode starts off with the ladies, and they are in the women's quarters talking about Mackenzie's date with one of the guys, and apparently they were discussing peeing in the pool and peeing in the shower. Okay, so peeing in the shower, I think that's normal, right? I mean, maybe I'm the only one that does it. Yeah, right. But peeing in the pool is disgusting. I'm sorry, that is so nasty. And she was like, "Yeah, I pee in the pool. I do both." I'm like, "Oh, girl, you're gross." So, yeah. Moving on from that, we see Jeremy and Sarah, and they are discussing um, talking or making noises while having sex. And Jeremy seems to think that it's weird to make noises while you have sex. My personal opinion, I don't want it to be silent. Do y'all like silent sex? Silent sex? Let me know down below in the comments, because I think that is weird. And then he also goes on to say, well, if you have time to have, because I think Sarah said something about like having a whole conversation. Now, ain't nobody having a whole conversation, but it's not, I don't want it to be silent. So he was like, well, if you're having whole conversations, like you are obviously not doing something right. Like he was like, I don't have that. And so Sarah's like, tell me more, tell me more. Oh Lord. So I'm looking at Jeremy like he doesn't even give me like there's nothing sexual that I get from him, but to each their own. So Sarah is getting emotional because she's letting him know that, she's never felt this free and like alive with someone, and that she does with him. And he tells her that what he feels for her is more physical opposed to mental. And to me, that makes no sense, because you have not physically seen this woman at all ever. So where's this physical connection coming from? And why is there no mental connection at all? Well, he didn't say at all. But why is the mental connection less or lacking when that's why you're there, sir? So that was very strange to me. But I digress. And the crazy part about it is Sarah was okay with it. She didn't question it. She didn't have any follow-up questions unless it was edited out. She was just like, "Oh, okay, okay." And I'm thinking, what in the world, girl? So next we see Laura and Jeremy, and she is also getting emotional, and he's asking her at the very beginning of their date, and he's asking her, like he could hear her like sniffing, yeah, like he can hear in her voice that she's been crying, right? And so he's like, what's going on? What's wrong? And she's like, no, no, I don't want to lay, all this on you today. Like, I don't even want to do all that. He's like, no, talk to me. What's going on? And she tells him that she can't believe that she has gotten to this place with him, because she's always been so picky that she will, basically cut a guy off in a heartbeat. And it's never gotten to this point. She said, but with him, she made a list of pros and cons, and she was running out of room on her pro side. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he reassures her and tells her that he is falling for her. So Laura is Jeremy's number one. And it's so crazy because I think like episode 2 or 3, I thought that Sarah was his number one, because remember he walked into that room and called Sarah Laura. So they have come a ways. Or maybe she was always number one and I was just, you know, didn't realize it. So, moving on, AD and Clay are in the pods having their date, and he's basically, thanking AD for helping him to become the man that he needs to be, and basically just putting up with all the BS that he's put her through within these last week or so. Well, not even week or so, probably like last 6, 7 days. And she's just like, thank you, and he's telling her, and he reads her a Bible verse: lean not onto your own understanding. I think that's the verse: lean not onto your own understanding, but trust in the Lord, something like that. It's one of my grandmother's favorite verses in the Bible. And he's just landed on thick, child. Guess what? He's about to propose. So he, professes his love to her and tells her that he's going to help her to become the woman that she wants to be. And he asks her for her hand in marriage, and she says yes. She's excited, and she says yes, she accepts, and she's super happy. And I'm thinking, girl, whew, been a roller coaster, okay, with this man. So next we pan over to Brittany and Kenneth, and they have their big reveal. And Brittany says in her confessional right before they have the reveal that, Kenneth identifies as a black man. Did you just figure that out? Did you just figure that out? He told you, asked him what his family what his family was, and he told you black. So what do you mean he identifies as a black male? Yeah, he identifies as a black male, girl. But I like Brittany. So the doors open and they see each other, and it was definitely not awkward at all. I feel like they had really good chemistry. They didn't like kiss kiss. They did like a little, church conservative peck type kiss, and he, wasn't like really all over her like that. I don't remember him getting down on one knee and proposing again, like a lot of people do, like a lot of the guys do. But they talk, and they definitely did not seem awkward at all. They had really good chemistry. So we have our second engaged couple. So next we get Trevor and Chelsea. And Trevor, when Chelsea walks in, Trevor has some beautiful long not sun roses, Lord, sunflowers. And I love sunflowers. They're so pretty. And she's all happy, and she's like, thank you so much. I love my flowers, and you should have something over there too. And he's like, yeah, I have a box. And she's like, open it. So he opens the box, and he's like, there's a bracelet in here. And so she's explaining to him, I have one too. So if I press the button on my bracelet, the heart that's on my bracelet, it makes your bracelet vibrate. So that'll let you know every time I do that I'm thinking about you. And I was like, oh, that is so sweet. I wonder like what the distance is for that, like how far apart you can be for it to work. Like how many feet or whatever miles apart does it work? Like what's the range? So I thought that was really sweet. And then he tells her that he has this rock, and on the rock it says love, but it's in braille because love is blind. No pun, all pun. And I was like, oh, that is so sweet. He was like, he's always had this rock, and he wanted to give it to her because, of course, he tells her that he loves her again. And, Chelsea, she just kind of like soaks it in, and she's just like, and she always does, I wish I could tell you how I feel. And I'm like, here's an idea. Tell him. Open up your mouth and speak, sis. And for some reason, he also doesn't like challenge it and say, well, why don't you tell me? Like, how do you feel about me? These are questions that he does not ask, and I wish that he would, but he didn't. So moving on to Jimmy and Jessica, and I guess this is gift day because Jessica has a box in Jimmy's room for him, and inside of the box there is this heartfelt letter that she wrote a long time ago for her future husband. So he's reading the letter, and he's just like getting real choked up, and he's kind of like quiet. It takes Jimmy a while to process things and to respond sometimes, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes I feel like Jimmy takes a little bit too long to respond. So she's like, are you there? And he's like, yeah, I'm here. And she's like, oh, I thought you had hung up on me. He was like, no, I would never do that. So when I hear him saying that, I'm thinking, okay, well, we're about to have a moment. Oh, we had a moment. And so she was like, I feel like, I've done a pretty good job with um letting you know how I feel for you. And he's like, yeah, you have done a really good job. And then he starts to say how he feels, but he kind of pauses like he always does. And he's like, I can't, I feel like I can't give you what you want. Like, I can't tell you I love you. I'm not going to tell someone I love them until like I, really know that I love that person. And she was like, well, I'm not asking you to tell me that you love me. I know that you're dating people. I want you to do that. But you can tell at this point, like Jessica is like, she's getting impatient, but she's trying her hardest to be patient and to not let it show, because she's really, really into Jimmy. Like, she likes him a lot. And some kind of way things just go left. And she's just like, I don't want to chase you. Like, I'm not gonna chase you, and you're never gonna make me feel like this again. Like, you're making me question how you feel about me, and if I should even be like letting you take all this time. She's like, you need to go ahead and make your decision and date and get all that out of your system. And hopefully I'm still, basically want to be with you once you do all that. And the way she was talking, I was like, girl, he is not gonna pick you, baby. I don't know if you know this or not, but he is not gonna pick you. So don't be surprised. But I did like Jimmy and Jessica, but I don't think he's a good fit for her. So she leaves out, well, they leave out of the room, and I don't know what the time frame is between the date between Jessica and Jimmy and Chelsea, but we see Chelsea and Jimmy in the pods not too long after he got out of the pods with Jessica, and Chelsea's asking him how's he feeling, and he's just like, oh Lord, like today it's just been and he was like, can we like, do something light? And she's like, no, like it's time to get heavy. And this is basically the same thing that he was giving Jessica. Like, you need to make a decision. Like, we're coming down to the wire. It's like a day or two left. Like, people need to know, what are you going to do, sir? Who do you want? And so he finally is just like, he loves Chelsea. And I'm thinking, you just told Jessica 4 seconds ago, not really, but yes, really, that you wasn't sure about being in a relationship with her, but now you're in here telling Chelsea that you love her and that you want to be in a relationship with her. You haven't proposed, but you're telling her this. Like, are you serious right now? You could have told Jessica, like, it's not you. So, of course, not Jessica, Chelsea is excited. She just like melts onto the floor. She like slides down the couch. And you know how people do it on the TV. They slide down the couch onto the floor, and she is she's happy because I think she always wanted Jimmy. She just wasn't sure if he wanted her because she knew Jessica was still in the run-ins. And I really think she felt like Jessica was above her. So, um, yeah. So she leaves out of she leaves out of the pods and she goes back into the women's quarters, living quarters, and Jessica's sitting right there. She sees her come in. So Jessica is talking to some of the other ladies, and when she walks in, and so she kind of gave like this look on her face, like she was like bothered or upset. She didn't come in looking happy. I think she did that on purpose. So one of the girls was asking, I think it was Sunny. She was like, "Do you think he broke up with her?" And she was like, "No." And she was like, why you don't think that? He probably did. She was like, if he did, he wouldn't have went through the whole date with her. And you see Laura, not Laura, you see Chelsea tell Laura, whisper, Jimmy told me he loves me. And Laura's like, and so after she says that, she gets up and she walks off. And Laura immediately gets up and comes over to Jessica and whispers to her, my mission is to protect you at all costs. You need to pack your stuff and leave and bow out on your own accord because he's not the one. And Jessica's like confused, like, what are you, huh? What are you talking about? Like, where's this coming from? She's like, it's not him. And she's like, but wait, why? What are you saying? Like, where's this coming from? And she's like, trust me. Like, Laura would not give her any more than just trust me. It's not him. He's not your man. He's not your man. She just keeps saying it. And Jessica's like, but why are you saying that? Like, tell me, tell me. And she was like, you just have to trust me. And she said, but are you saying that because of something that she just told you, or is this like factual? And I'm thinking, how can it be factual? Where would she get it from? And she was like, at this point, Laura's just like walking off, like, you just have to trust me. I'm telling you. And so now Jessica's looking at everybody, like all the other girls around. They're like, I don't know anything. I didn't know nothing. I don't know. Don't look at me. And then it like kind of finally hit her and she just like breaks down and she's like, oh my God, I cannot believe he did this to me. Like, he broke my heart. And my heart was broken for her. She's just breaking down. She's bawling her eyes out. And I'm just like, wow. So after the heartbreak, it's time for a happy moment, and we get to see Clay and AD finally meet up. And let me just say this, AD looks phenomenal. When I tell you, baby has body, she looks amazing. Amazing, so pretty, and she has a great personality to match it too. So I really like AD. AD is still my favorite. So the doors open, and when she sees him, of course, she's all giddy and she's squealing, and he is smiling. But like, I feel like the closer that he walked to her, he started smiling more. And he was like, hey, D, hey, yes. And well, he didn't say all that. I just made the man, I just feminized him. But he was just like, what's up, AD? And they're hugging and kissing, and he pulls his ring out. He's like, I got the ring. He pulls the ring out, and he gets down on one knee, and he doesn't ask her, but he just puts the ring on her finger. Like, he doesn't say, will you marry me? It's just like, it's supposed to go on your finger right here, right? And he puts the ring on. Nice ring. Good job with the ring. And, it was not awkward at all. They had really good chemistry, really great chemistry. And they sit down and they're talking, and he's just saying, can you believe like we finally meeting, and this is real, I can't believe we're getting ready to do this, and you're so gorgeous. And she gets up and she does a little spin, and honey, when she turned around to the back, baby, he was like, yes. He said in his confessional, he was like, she has a beautiful face and a banging body, and I'm gonna have fun. I said, not fun. Not you gonna have fun, child. So I think he really like that sealed the deal. Because remember what he said. So when they first met, he kissed her. And he said something about her lips, and then when she turned around in his confessional, he said something about her butt. So I feel like he was like, yes, I got what I wanted. I'm so glad she didn't tell him. Like, not telling you what I look like. So yeah, that's our third couple. And I'm moving right along. We get Jessica and Jeremy. And this is after all is said and done. So he walks in the room, baby. When I tell you she was sitting on ready, she was sitting on red tea, baby. Guns blazing. She did not play no games when it came to this last date. And so she's like, he asked her how she's doing, and she said, I've been better. And I know he's like, oh God. And so he starts off with the whole, I like you. And then she said, listen, don't tiptoe around whatever you have to tell me. I think you know that I'm a big girl. And I feel like you just owe me at least for once to be direct. And Jeremy was like, oh, you want me to be direct? Oh, I can do that. Here's direct. How about this? You're a nice person. We met in the pods. We had a good connection. We hit it off right off the bat. You're a wonderful man, mother. I feel like you're going to be a wonderful wife, but for someone else. I said, oh, you asked for it. And baby, when I tell you, Jessica was in tears and she was like, why on God's green earth didn't you tell me this earlier? Like, you could have been told me. He was like, I didn't know. I was torn. And she was like, that's BS. That is BS. And he was like, I didn't know. And she was like, don't even sit up here and try to gaslight me. Like, I don't know that you told somebody that you love them. Like, basically immediately after me and you just had our date. And he was like, because I had figured it out at that moment, because our date was so bad, I knew in that moment. So in that moment, you fell in love. I must have stupid written on my forehead, Jeremy. I'm calling BS. You could have told this woman. She's like, you ruined this whole experience for me. I came here to, find a husband and now I'm leaving alone. This is not supposed to happen to me. I'm like, well, it's happened to many other people. I don't know why you think you're exempt. I like you and all, but you're not exempt. everybody, everybody can, miss out the opportunity and don't fall in love or don't find the person for you. Maybe this isn't where you're supposed to meet your husband at. It can happen to anybody. But I did feel really, really bad for her. Um, and she told him up, baby. She was like, he had said something to the fact about I've never been with anybody as direct because she was like, I know that I'm a lot. Um, so I've been trying to make excuses for you because I know that I'm a lot or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I've never been with anybody that's as direct as you are. I will say that I'm used to someone who is, more passive, more submissive, if you will. And she was like, yeah, if that's what you're looking for, I'm not going to coddle you and hold your hand and, guide you and do all these things. And that she's the person for you because she'll never be the woman that I am. I said, not Chelsea catching stray bullets. Not Chelsea catching strays, baby, because she dropped, when I tell you, when she dropped this one, Chelsea definitely caught one. Baby said, but you know what? You are not the man for me, and I'm going to find the man for me. But when you see me, you are going to wish that you hadn't made this decision because you're going to choke and you're going to need your EpiPen to open up your airways. I said, ooh, come through, Jessica. Come through. He deserved it. He really did. He deserved it. He shouldn't have did that. I feel like you don't have to wait until the last minute. I remember, I believe it was, what was the guy's name who had the paper plates? I cannot think of his name. But the guy that had the paper plates last season, and we saw him with Lydia, and he told Lydia, like, second date, I want to say, listen, I am going to have to end this with you because I have more of a connection with, my um, other two ladies that I'm dating. And he told her, and that way she was able to go on and build a connection with Milton. So I cannot think of his name. What was his name? He had so much drama going on with the bad credit and all that. But anyway, excuse me. I feel like Yeah, I feel like Jeremy deserved that because he definitely could have handled that differently. So that was not cool at all. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much where the episode ended. It was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. We see her leaving out of the pods after she ate his behind up, and she went back into the living quarters, and I guess she got her stuff, and she was like, "I'm out, baby. I'm deuces." So yeah, that was the end of the episode. It was a really good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. Can't wait to see the reveal for do we have any more reveals? No, we don't. We have to see the next two proposals. So we have to see who Chelsea is gonna get engaged to. Is it gonna be Trevor or Jeremy? And we have to see who, no, not Jeremy, I'm sorry. Jeremy, if he's gonna propose to Laura or Sarah, and we have to see is Chelsea gonna pick Jimmy or Trevor? That's what it is. All these J's. So yeah. So who do y'all think? Who do you think that Chelsea is going to pick? Y'all know I liked Trevor for her. Trevor is super super sweet. So, and I think that he would be a really really good husband. I think they make a really good Um, that's a good fit, a good match. Remember, both of them, their dogs is named after the not really after, but Chelsea's dog is named Trevor, and Trevor's dog is named Chelsea. And Chelsea guessed that the man had a mullet, and they just had really good banter and just a really good connection. So I think they make a good couple, but we shall see because Jessica and Jimmy are no longer a thing. So it's probably going to be Jimmy, but we'll see. And then when it comes to Laura, we know Laura. We already know that. I mean, the way that the edit is going, you can tell that Jeremy's going to pick Laura. So we'll see. But that's the episode, y'all. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Pi, for those that don't know. And I am about to review Love is Blind Season 6, Episode 4. Before I get started, if you could, oh my God. Ugh. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Pi, for those that don't know. And we are going to review, where are we review?